Good afternoon, everyone. This is Riley with Midwest Market Management, bringing you our Tuesday, April 14th edition of U.S. weather from a national yield perspective. Um, Blip storms and hail where I'm at right now in central Iowa, but lot of weather changes going on and markets definitely getting affected by it. So let's get into the maps and what's going on. So first thing I do have that came out yesterday afternoon, planting progress. Corn up to 5% planted compared to a 4% average. Those southern states definitely ahead of the game, and that was something we saw last week, and that trend is not any different. So moving in, bean planting, also a very similar thought, 6% compared to a 2% average. Um, Even states like Missouri, Southern Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, um, light years ahead of where they should be, no, but definitely ahead of the game and some progress made that might not normally be there. So planning off to a quick start in those southern states as we get into the core crop production areas, we're really gonna have to see if that can be the case or if there will be a slower start after all this rain that's came through. So one other thing to note, wheat conditions came out, and is it a disaster by any means? No, but you really do need to look Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. All these states are showing conditions well below average, and that is something worth noting. Overall, 34% good to excellent compared to 47% last year. So conditions not great for the central wheat growing areas, but as you look to the west and to the east, conditions actually better than a year ago. So a bit of a mixed bag, but still worth noting what's going on in those plain states. So moving ahead, 1 to 5 day temperatures, pretty mild in the south. We do have temperatures in the 80s, which is on the warmer side, but as we're looking to the I states as well as to the north, 70s and 60s, not any reason to think that dry down is going to come in a quick way. So moving ahead, 6 to 10, temperatures actually looking to cool off even more there. So definitely means if there's any rain coming with that, it's going to take a while before it can all dry out. So moving ahead, last 2 weeks of rain, nothing new or unexpected here. This belt going from Texas up through Wisconsin's had a significant amount of rain. A lot of wheat country, Kansas, Nebraska ended up getting missed over the weekend. Definitely was a spark for the market on the wheat side of things the last couple of days, having that too. So there are some areas that are a little too wet, but also some regions that got missed and are too dry. So we're gonna have to watch that as well. So moving ahead here, 1 to 5 day precip. Rain in the forecast still across the board for these same regions that are already wet. We're only going to April 18th at this point. I know a lot of farmers are hoping to get started, but from a market standpoint, it's too early in the year, and too much rain is usually not something that can get the market stirred up. So as we're looking at it, make sure you take a breath, put on the whoa, and realize that we're not turning the calendar to May yet. And just because there's not a wheel turning doesn't mean that it's a bullish factor for the markets. So 6 to 10 day is showing a little bit of a drier window. Will there be some people to get in the field during this time frame? We'll have to wait and see. And that's about all we can do for it. So putting everything together, a 1 to 13 day forecast. Some rain in that eastern belt that was drier before, so definitely getting a payoff there. But all the other states just getting enough rain to either help them out in the west if they're too dry, or keep them too wet to get planting, but not wet enough to cause a big flood issue either. So across the board, a lot of rain in the forecast. Will be a slow start, I think, to a lot of the northern half of the production area for corn and beans. And cold temps is also something worth noting too. Talks of below freezing temperatures in the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin over the weekend. So going to be worth watching there to see what happens as well. But that is it here today for the Tuesday, April 14th rendition of U.S. weather. Tune in on Thursday where Clint will be gone again, so it should just be me, but see if there's any big changes. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is or is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.